basically there are happening many good things at school and many bad things at school. One of the best things is that they learn things that you don't care about. You don't give a shit. You don't care. You don't care about this. I sit in school listening to the teacher. The teacher tries to form my whole destiny and tries to, teach me something valuable. The teacher tries to get me on the next level. He tries to do everything what is possibly in his capabilities to, get reputation in the school. But basically the thing is, after 1, 2, 3, 4 years, they all speak the English language like this, and so sometimes they have not the words that they search for. And then they, yes, that's exactly what happens here. But the more problem thing is that when the people have the thing here, that they don't speak the language properly, then they will end up like this, and they don't speak the language well. Most times the people have their issues and their problems, and this has many reasons. And today I want to explain you one of them. And this is an individual learning experience. Do something what you can relate to. Maybe there are some people who are like, oh yeah, great, I want to learn Apple and I want to have the AirPod, and AirPod is such great, so great to have the AirPod, and then I have a car and the car is so great. Yeah, it's driving. It's great. But getting a real relation to the language in the case of finding kind of like something that you like and try to get these both topics into a relationship is so cool, because in this case you can just find a way to do two things that you love to get a better result. Makes total sense. Great example, cooking. Cooking is perfect. Cooking is fun. Cooking is great. If you don't like cooking and sometimes you blow up the kitchen, then probably cooking isn't for you, or you're not well trained to cook and you have to try it again. Because cooking and language learning is like awesome. I can just recommend this to everyone, because if you, for example, if you watch a show where they try to explain you how to cook, for example, in the Italian television, how they cook a carbonara, and you're listening to them and they explain you exactly this. Okay, we have here a pot, and with this pot we have here a spoon, and we take this and we make this here now, and then we chop some onions, and the onions are great now, and we put the onions in the pot, and then we make this and do this and do this. It's kind of like perfect. It's perfect, because now you have the learning experience on a whole another level. You're not like sitting at school like this and be like, oh, airplanes. You were like sitting in the airplane. You know what I mean. He's just like explaining you just in the moment what he's doing. It's perfect. To learn the language is perfect. And another thing what I really like, if you're into sports, if you have one sport that you really enjoy or that you like, and you kind of like enjoy to watch this in television, for example, then you can use this perfectly. I personally was for a longer time kind of like a medium professional player in pool billiards. Means I was playing much and I were looking at the tactics of the other players quite often. And sometimes I were just watching them, my colleagues were looking at me and they're like, I don't know how you can do this. It's so boring. It's so boring. And I'm like, no, it's so interesting how they do it. It's crazy. They just think 100 steps ahead, and you can't even recognize. You don't even see nothing. And that's the point. If a commentator or if if a person makes a commentary for a sports topic or something, they also, as they do in the case of cooking, they explain you exactly what happens, and that's the interesting point. They explain what happens. You can relate to that, and that makes sense. So you have kind of like comprehensible input. If you're aware of comprehensible input, that's jackpot. If not, then that's cool too. Just do it, and you will be fine. It's a huge topic, but basically, the fact that you just take a look on the television or wherever you look it in the other language, and you sit there and be just like listening to them, and they're just telling you, oh my god, there is football player goes, oh, he's so conscious today, oh, he can do it, oh my god, he comes closer to the goal, and god, it's just, I don't know, just something like this. And that's exactly the point. They just make a commentary and they tell you exactly what happens. It's just like the cooking. It's perfect. Okay, basically, if you have something what you love or what you really enjoy to do, if you kind of like, you love hand lettering. I love hand lettering. If you love hand lettering, then what you could do is you could watch tutorials for hand lettering or something like this, completely in Italian. So search for a person who is capable of making calligraphy in Italian. If you have troubles with translating calligraphy YouTuber into another language, then just ask Google Translate. Makes sense. If you will find someone. And it's perfectly. You can just increase your capabilities of the things you love, and in the same way you can kind of like do something else. You can learn the language. And this is really valuable and interesting just to have this as a strategy. And yeah. Also, what I mean by individualize your learning experience, I mean, if you kind of like have a time gap in your shower, then make a shower self-talk with yourself. Self-talk with yourself. Oxymoron. However, you stand in the shower and you'll be like, Buongiorno, fratello, come stai? Tutto a posto? Ah, great. And you just talk to yourself in the language you're currently learning. Use all words that you have, doesn't matter, it's just a reminder of yourself and to get yourself in the state of learning. Imagine doing this all day, every day. Great. King. Individualizing comes also not only in the fact that you try to combine the things you like with the things you have to do. It means like learning the language and your hobbies. It comes also with, if you have a time gap that you can use it. Make it a habit. It's perfect, because what do you while you shower? Basically, there is no, or at least, even if you do bad things, you can talk to yourself in another language. Wouldn't be that difficult. You can do this. You can listen to a podcast. If you go jogging outside, there are some people who don't like this. I'm personally kind of like, I feel like I am one of them, because of several reasons. Basically, if I'm outside, I want to have this silence. If some people are also for training, there are some very high level athletes out there who are also kind of like very convinced of the fact that you shouldn't do this while you challenge yourself with your sport. Makes sense, total sense. But if you like, I don't give a shit, I just want to learn this language, then this is also a time gap that you can use on yourself. And also, what I personally really kind of like find interesting is, I had in Italian, I have just listened to the podcast Cose Molto Umane. Means literally things very human. And it's very interesting because they just talk about things that are very human, and it makes sense because if you're a curious person and you like kind of like interesting things, then this is quite for you. Basically, you will find in any language on Spotify somewhere a podcast which is kind of like interesting for you. And if you don't have Spotify, or if you like want to search something different, Castbox is a great CAST, and box is a great app that I can recommend you. Is very awesome to get closer to podcasts also in your language. For example, I had seen stories in slow Russian, also very great for learn to get the first idea. Yes. One thing I really had enjoyed was way earlier I really like listening to rap music for some reason. I don't know why. Especially in different languages. In Turkish rap is great. And I also had listened to Spanish rap. And my goal was always to be capable of trying to say the same as they say. I reached that goal kind of like one time in Spanish and one time in Russian. And crazy things start to happen there. I just started making the videos faster, even when they were rapping double time, for the reason because I wanted to challenge myself, and it was very strange and interesting, this experience, because the more you do this and the harder you challenge yourself. And in the beginning, this feels so wrong. It feels so wrong. It feels like you will never reach this. That's the first thing, and you will never reach this. And the second thing is you feel like this can't work, but you have to split this into parts. And then it works. It works step by step. And you kind of like have to learn the pronunciation of the words. And yeah, it's totally insane to do this. But it works if you want that it works. If you really have the patience to do this, then it's awesome. I love it. And one thing what is really interesting, if you feel like they're speaking too fast and it's very hard to learn this, especially then it's interesting to increase the speed of the video, because if you can do this in double time, then everything else is easier. The rapping feels so much easier when you had learned it way faster. I feel like a genius for this trick. The first time in my life I feel like a genius, because it's really stupid, but it works. You feel then that it's even harder, you're right, but then everything else is easier. It feels so easy to do it slower. Yeah, just can recommend this for you. I hope you enjoyed my video. If not, then explain me why. Give me constructive ideas on how I can improve myself down below in the comments. Would be so cool. And leave a subscribe if you want to. If not, I'm cool with it. And leave a like. Would be so cool. Thanks a lot for your time, and see you. Bye bye.